Well, hello, home builders. So part of the process of building an airplane, especially from plans, is sourcing the materials. We've come to a point with our project where we need some more spruce. So I'm going up to a mill yard up in Chichester, New Hampshire, to get those materials, and it's to be able to fit the canopy onto the body of the airplane. So it's about an hour north of where I am, and it's just part of the process. So Goose Bay carries every kind of wood imaginable. There are a lot of boat builders that come in to get their wood here, furniture makers, and aircraft builders. So just grabbed this 8-foot section of Sitka Spruce. Price is going way up on this stuff. It's this one piece of wood was $104. So I guess it's getting harder and harder to get from Alaska. But anyway, got it.
So we are remaking the hinges for the rear elevator, because we noticed during one of our inspections that the existing hinges, somebody had over drilled the holes so that when you put the pin in, there's a lot of movement, and it doesn't look like a lot there, but over the course of 6 feet on both sides, it translates into probably a good 3/16 of an inch of movement laterally on the rudder. So we're making the new hinges. We made half of them a week ago, and we're making the other halves tonight, and then they'll fit together something like that when we're done, and it'll be drilled with the proper size hole so that when the bolt goes in, the non-threaded part, it's a very tight fit.
Nice.
So it'll take all the slop out of that.
All right.
Oh, that's so hot. All right, so we got the rough cutouts made for the hinge, the 4 hinge halves. We're doing a little bit of a dry fit on this one here, so you can get in close on that, Brett.
Yeah.
Just making sure things align, it fits in the pocket properly, and then we'll take the old hinges to align the bolt holes so that it bolts in properly, because we couldn't re-drill the wood, so we have to make sure the holes line up properly. And so we're just fine-tuning these aluminum parts, and then we'll get them on the drill press and get everything drilled out, and get them installed.
All right.
Good stuff. So one of the things we spent a lot of time off camera doing is sort of planning the sequence of the build. We don't want to allow the glue dry time to prevent us from continuing to work on the plane. So while we're working on the hinges for the elevator in the back, we're also installing the ribs on the wing stubs. And you can see here that the first stub is installed. We're waiting for that glue to dry. But in addition to gluing up parts when we did that, we also glued in the blocks for the outer ribs. So tomorrow, when this is cured, we'll be able to install that and wrap up the rear elevator hinges at the same time. Next big steps are getting the fuel tank and the instrument panel layout figured out and nailed down, because that sort of drives the fit of the canopy, where all the gauges can go, all the mechanical and electrical components that have to tie from the instrument panel to the engine have to all be laid out. We want as few holes in the firewall as possible. And beyond that, we're starting to receive some electronics now, specifically antennas that get mounted in the fuselage. So if Brett was to go around the other side of the plane, and maybe he'll give you a little treat, you can start to see one of the antennas being installed, the rest of them being installed later this week. So we're sort of working on the whole plane simultaneously versus sort of one section at a time, and it's really going a long way as far as expediting the build. My anticipated flight date is no later than September 1st, 2022.
All right.